All right. What's up, everybody? So the last thing I said is that I like to scale, and I kind of do with the windows and a lot of stuff. This fridge is bothering me though, so I want to make some space for it in my life. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna sacrifice some counter space. It's all good. I kind of like the sink being a little bit more centered, anyways. Um, I can make it a little bigger. Yeah, we're just kind of dialing everything in right now. It's like, you don't have to be this specific yet. You still have plenty of time before you really have to. But okay, I walked up to my fridge. That's a big fridge though, because it's got to be like that, something like that. 'Cause he should probably like the top of his head should be there. I think it just depends, and I think that's probably fine. I mean, it's blocking their damn window anyways, so what do I care? They certainly don't. Okay, putting that there. Make that a little bigger. Push it over here because it makes the sink a little wider too, which I like. Play nice, play nice. There we go. Grab this. Right there. Okay, cool. We need to put okay, before we focus, well yeah. Let's just finish this because I'm gonna forget this windowsill if we don't do it right now. So I just copy and pasted and I'm rotating. You should know the drill, I'm hoping. But it's R and Z. Um, did we go the right way with that? The bevel side should be, yeah, it is perfect. Okay. So that's gonna come right here. I think it should already be lined up there. Um, just make my life a little easier. Tab. Grab it. Cool. Yeah, this face is playing nice. Oops. Okay. Cool. And same drill as before. We're just gonna lift these up. I guess this isn't how I did it before, but this is how I should have done it before. Is just quickly get these guys up and then just bring them back down. Okay. Blender. Okay, and maybe a face got removed here. No, it didn't. No, it's just being annoying. Oh well. Carry on. Oh, I'm stupid. It's because these are separate objects. Silly me. Learn through my mistakes. You have to select both and then tab into them if you want to move both at once, which I think is just better. So I'm just going to Z these up. GZ. Um, Z them back down. Go back into tab again. Just grab these. Shift. Get them both. Z up. Cool. I'm going to join all these bad boys now. And I'm going to scoot it back. And beautiful. Okay, so now our windows are looking good. We'll put curtains in and all that soon too. I'm going to hide, or I'm not going to hide them. I'm just going to make them look at the photos. Okay, let's finish this area. Okay, had a little issue here, but we are back. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy and paste this. So now there's just one sitting on top of the other one. This face is selected. I'm going to hit Control I, and I'm going to hit Delete Faces. Now, if we go back, you'll see that I just got this thing right here separate from it. So that will make my life a little bit easier. Set the origin to the geometry. We are going to make this half its size, and so I can easily dial that in by coming over here, going to scale. That will be scale, I believe X. If not, we'll find out. And I'm going to do 0.5. It's perfect. Okay. So now I'm going to scoot that over, copy paste, GX, GX. And the reason I want to make these separate is so we can get a nice little bevel on them, and it'll look like they're separated. So because these are both just planes, they're interacting with the mesh in a strange way, so we can fix that just by doing this. Beautiful. This is going to be more of like a metallic kind of thing anyways, I think. I mean, I guess I could make this top part. Whatever, it's a little discombobulated, but that's just how some apartments are sometimes. Can I reuse this handle even? That would be beautiful. Remember, I'm going to tab into the fridge. I'm going to hit L over this, and this will select just this mesh that we had joined with it earlier. It's a pretty cool technique. I'm going to make sure I'm not selecting whatever's inside the fridge too. Just going to go back there, and I'm going to hit P and separate by selection. I'm going to copy paste it. I'm going to just kind of bring it down there, and I'm just going to put that back on, just because that's what I want it to be. Let's make it look less like the fridge handle. Oh, see, need to set the origin to geometry, scale along the z-axis, scale along the x-axis, and it's looking like a different type of handle, especially if we put a different material on it. And yeah, that's just reusing materials. It's pretty smart. X, or reusing meshes rather. This is what we want. We want to make our lives easier. You're already stressed enough. We all deserve a little piece. Oh, okay, so I'm beveling right now, but I don't have the segments up because I think I might have restarted Blender. Cool, yeah. I like these to be a little smaller though. Cool, yeah. Cool. Let me join all these bad boys up. Join that on this. And sick, now it's coming together. Let's do that over here too, except we're gonna make it more of like a wooden motif. So I'm gonna make sure that the scale is applied. I'm gonna hit I, bring it down just a little bit. Then I'm gonna hit Control R to make an edge loop, and I'm gonna bring it up here to make like some drawers, basically. And I'll probably just, since this is playing nicely, I'm just gonna do that. 4 drawers. Sick. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is let's start with the drawers. Why not? Okay. So I'm gonna hit I and bring it in, but if you notice, they're all coming together, and I don't want that. I want them to be separate. So Control Z, I'm gonna hit I, and then I'm gonna hit I one more time. Now they're gonna be separate. Haha. So I just need a little bit right there. I'm gonna hit E and extrude them out just a little bit. Nice. Okay. If we want, we can put some bevels on the top bottom to see how that looks. If you're feeling crazy. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to select all of these edges right here, and I'm going to hit Control B. Bring it in just a little, just kind of makes it look a little bit more organic, because this is going to be wood. So nice, nice. I'm going to, on top of one of these, just right click and hold down Shift, and that'll put my 3D cursor there. I'm also going to make sure with I hit period on the numpad to make sure this object's selected. Now I'm going to do mesh, UV sphere. Just going to scale this way down. Oopsie. Scale this way down, as I said. Play nice. Cool, cool. Going to bring it out. Scale in with Y. Got a little button ding. Let's make sure it is attached. G, Y, and then just going to snap it to that edge. So now it should be, it looks like it's a little bit attached, but we'll even just dial it back a tiny bit more just to really sell it. Cool. Shade smooth. And now we can try and just array this across if we want, save ourselves a little time. Let's see if that can be done easily. I'm just going to hide that. What is that? That is in my way. It's the bed. I'm also going to hide the bed because we'll come back to working on that. So I hid the wall and the bed. I'm going to go to modifiers, add modifier array, and it's going to be along the x-axis for me here. So I'm going to go up to 4 and just dial this in. So it's probably going to be between 16 and 17, and it is. So 16.5 is a little too far to the left. Yep, that looks about right. And so that just saved us a little time just putting that together. So I'm just going to even apply that. Cool. Going to attach that. Excellent. So now we got drawers. And now let's make cupboards. So for these, this one I might actually want to be like this. So I'd hit like, so what would happen is you'd hit I and it would go back to doing this, but if you just hit I again, it'll attach them. And so this is how we're going to do the cupboards. So I'm just going to bring these down a little bit. Okay, folks, so I tried some of the beveling stuff and it really just wasn't working out. So I figured I'd just cut here and show you what I'm doing now, which is grabbing all these faces, of the extruded cabinets, and we're just going to separate them. And that way we can kind of put a little natural gap between them. It'll be chill. Let's see. Grab that, grab that, grab that, grab that, grab that, and grab that. Okay, and then we hit P, separate by selection. Boom, now these are separate. So what I'm probably going to have to do is separate these further. Let's see. You guys get to see the raw, just like unabashed way that this works. Sometimes you try something and then it creates more work for you, but that's all right. You always got to keep experimenting. It's important. Separate by selection. So now I'm just going to slightly move these off to the or right there because I'm going to need to fill these back in. Oh boy. So I'm going to grab that edge and I'm going to grab that edge. Remember to select edges. Grab that edge and that edge. And if you think, this could happen to you too, so it's good to at least know how to fix these problems. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to bring this back in. We're going to grab everything. Let's try beveling now and seeing how well that works. So it's a little off on one of them because we tried something earlier with the technique, but frankly, this works. And it's at this point, I think it's good enough for what we're trying to do. And I'm going to steal these handles again. I'm going to deselect that, hit L, P, selection. Oops, come on, baby. There you go. I'm going to set origin to geometry just to make my life easier. G, put it right there. And then just because I don't want to forget, put it right back here. Okay, we're going to move this over. Let's scale it. Just try and make it look a little different. Scale it up. Just throw it kind of just into the mesh, frankly, because this one won't matter that much. Copy paste. X. Cool. Copy paste both of them. GX. And there you go. Yeah. Cool. Now we are cooking. Okay, let's attach all these back here. In fact, just all of it can come together. Beautiful. That is a beautiful looking counter, actually. I think we did a good job. Congratulations. Okay. What next? We have the bed, the nightstand. I want to put some curtains on the windows, and then I think I'll feel comfortable moving on to materialing. Just because at that point the room will be lively enough and have enough going on for us to kind of feel the materials and get the lighting right. So, all right, let's go over to this guy right here. So I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to do what we did earlier just because I know that it'll make my life easier, where we copy and paste the object, hit Control I to select the inverse, and just delete all the faces of the second copy that you made. And then when you tab out of it, you've got a whole new thing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I did again before, which is set the scale to 0.5. I believe this is right. Nope. So it's got to be on the y-axis. 0.5. Cool. Just scooch it. Copy paste. G. G. Y. Cool. All right. We're going to just move these overs, get them a little bit centered. Going to grab them both, extrude them out a little bit. And then since we got the faces anyways, I'm just going to do a little quick bevel, holding down shift just to make it really, really tiny. Cool, cool. I'm liking it. Doesn't have to be really that fancy. It's just like, nightstand. Let's go over here. I'm going to grab one of these buttons. Selection. Copy, paste. G over here. Just reparent that with Control J. Or rejoin rather. Drag this over here. We're going to rotate it. Oh, see, yep, got to set origin to geometry, RZ. Make sure we're at 90. All right, let's dial this in a little bit. X. I'm going to put a tiny bit in the mesh. You'll be able to see that because it gets a little darker behind. Cool. Okay, that's the nightstand. Let's move on to the bed. Okay, since we're actually kind of on a roll with these dressers sort of dealios, I figure let's just hit the entertainment system. The way I want to do this is make edge loops, just Control R, maybe like 4 dressers like that. And what I want to do is I'm going to kind of, I'm going to hit I and I again, and I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to use E to kind of bring it back. So we're extruding inward. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one more edge loop across. I'm just going to grab these bottom faces. Just going to extrude them in a little bit more. Oops, that way. Cool, cool. I'm going to go grab that button again. We got them right here too. Oh, perfect. It's already detached. Okay. So let's just fly that across with Y, or X rather. Make sure that it's lined up. Cool. Well, that's way off there though, but it's okay. We'll dial it in. Dialing it in. It's a little hard to tell. By the way, I should have mentioned this earlier, but if you ever find yourself in something that looks like this, or like this, or like this, just look up here and click the second one. Alternatively, you can hold Z and hit solid. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna just kind of try and dial this in. It's a little tricky to see, but you know, we're just having fun. And make, ooh, whoa, hello. Make that a little bigger. Make that a little bigger. Add the modifier, array. I believe we're going towards the Y. Maybe not though. Let's see. I'm just gonna try them all, right? That is weird. Oh, is it still select? I think it might have been selecting this guy. It was, yep. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. All right, you're selecting this guy. We're gonna go to add modifier, array. Yep, that's right. So we're just gonna move it this way along the x-axis, and we have 5, I believe. Was it? Yes. So I'm just gonna try and kind of eyeball this one. That could go a little farther. Oops. Hmm. That looks about right. Cool. Okay. So that's some. It doesn't really need to be too much, honestly. It's just kind of an interesting little design. Kind of gets away from the same bevel concept, but speaking of that, maybe we should actually grab the outermost bottom lines and just see what happens if we bevel them. Maybe it'll look cool. It's worth trying things. You never know. Just a little bit probably won't hurt. Cool. That works for me. And did our button? Yes, they did. Our buttons did disappear because I did not apply the array. See, just as you keep going through it, it's like, you know, these little things will happen, and it's okay. Gotta just forgive yourself. All right, give me, oh, hopefully it just lets me keep the same settings. Nope. Oh well. I like that bevel, so I'm just gonna leave it. Okay. Go there, make sure your factors are 0 on any direction you don't want to be going in on this array. We're just gonna dial this in again. That looks fine. I'm gonna apply the array modifier this time, and I'm gonna join it. Cool. Let me join those 2 buttons too before I forget. And all this to that. Cool. Do the apply scale, set origin to geometry. Cool, we're definitely cooking. We're definitely cooking. All right, let's move on to the bed. All right, so let's talk about this bed. First things first, I'm actually going to take the top down because this is like the bed frame that the bed's going to sit in. So I'm actually going to bring it a little below the nightstand. And now I'm going to hit I, and I'm going to bring this bad boy in. About there's good. Then I'm going to hit E, and I'm going to extrude it down. Something like that should be fine. I'm going to copy and paste it. I'm going to go in. I'm going to keep this face selected, and I'm going to hit Control I. I'm going to hit Delete Faces. And now I'm going to lift this guy up a bit. Or actually, I don't even have to. I'm just going to tab into him, E to extrude, and just bring it back up. And that's our mattress. Could be a pretty thick E. Okay, I'm going to hit S to just bring it down, just dial it down a tiny bit. Actually, I'm going to apply the scale first, and that way it'll play nice. Cool. We're going to tab into edit mode again. I'm going to select everything by hitting A. I'm going to hit Control B to bevel, and look at that. Look at that. You got a mattress. It wasn't so hard. Okay, I'm actually going to ooh, don't do that. I'm going to scoot this right here. I'm going to grab this face. See, that is a little annoying because I just want to put a headstand up, but because of the way the geometry looks, you can kind of see that it's being a little wonky. So what I'm going to do instead is I am just going to make another cube. There are some ways around it and some ways we can edit the mesh, and frankly, you should learn that, but I just don't want to overdo it. And if anything, just add another cube and join it. We're fine. We're adults here. All right. Grab the face, along the X, bring it in, GX. This is just like the headstand, GY, GY, and GX to bring this down. Let's just bring it, oops, or GZ rather, excuse me. So let's just bring it up like right there. That's pretty good. I'm going to join it. I'm going to leave this here actually because we're going to need it for when we add the blankets, which we're going to do now. And that's really going to spice up this bed and make it look really cool. All right, let's get a blanket on this bed. We're going to go to Shift A, Mesh Plane. Where did our plane go? All right, we're going to take the plane, use G, bring it over, GZ, bring it up. Let's scale it up. Let's bring it over on the X a bit. And that's going to be our blanket. So what we need to do is we need to tap into edit mode and hit Control R and start adding edge loops. So we added 13 here. That looks about good to me. You can check over there how many you added. So that one was 14, so we can actually just change it to 13. It'll automatically do it. We want these faces to be as square as possible for what we're going to do to work, because we are going to put a cloth modifier on this plane and have it fall over the bed and kind of drape over naturally. It'll look really nice. So what we're going to do that is click the plane, go to Add Modifier, Cloth. And as you see, there's nothing really here because you have to go down to this tab, the Physics tab. So this is what happens now that it's got the modifier on it. It falls through the floor. That's because we need to put collisions. So we click the bed and hit collision, and we click the bed frame and hit collision. Now, all right, see? But it is sliding off. So there's a couple things you can do here. I mean, here, first of all, let's get it centered over it. That could probably help a bit. And what I'll do is on this, I'm going to put the damping up a little bit and the stickiness up a little bit. Okay. Now, all we have to do is kind of scroll back down here. If you see, what I've been doing is I'm hitting play, which is spacebar, to get this to go. Sorry that I did not clarify that. And once it kind of hits, you can kind of just keep pausing and stop. And find like, a frame that works for you, a frame that you like. This one's kind of nice, and we can pull these edges down ourselves, if anything, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, cool. So go back, click the blanket, go back to the modifier, click Apply. All right, and now it's just set like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab these vertices by going Tab, Edit Mode, hitting 1 so I can select these vertices, and then just kind of hitting G and just moving them back a bit, just because it's a little awkward. I'd prefer that they just kind of danced down and played nicely like that. Even bring this one up and in a little bit. I mean, it doesn't even really look that bad as is. Let's see. Yeah, just kind of bringing everything a little closer. That's not too bad. I'm okay with it kind of flaring out a little bit. I'll try and bring these in just a little bit though. Or if anything, we can just kind of shrink it, bring it up a little bit. And nah, it's fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit right click it, click shade smooth. Ooh, and that's a comfy looking blanket. But we're probably gonna want another one, huh? So what I'm gonna do is add another plane and do the exact same process. I'm gonna bring it right over here. I'm just gonna scale it up. But be sure to apply the scale too. I'm hoping that won't be an issue. Anytime you rescale it, it's usually smart. One thing you can do here is hit 7, and that will open an orthographic view from above. You can also do that by clicking the Z over here. That looks about right. So same process. We're going to loop cut it. I'm going to put more loop cuts in this one to see how that changes it. 32 is too much though, because we also need to be conscientious of how many faces we're creating, because this is for VRChat. So you can't go crazy, unfortunately. I mean, you can, but you just have to do some work to bring it back, which is okay too. All right, so we're going to add the cloth modifier. And let's put a collision now. If we go down to physics, put a collision on the blanket as well. So that's what it looks like when you hit play, which is spacebar. So I'm going to move this around a little bit just to try and get it to be a little bit more interesting. Like fall on the, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rotate it slightly too. Let's see if that does anything. I'm going to apply scale, apply all transforms, and set origin to geometry, play. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like it. Cool. And what we're going to do then is we're going to apply this modifier. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a thickness modifier to this one, because this one will be, or a solidify modifier rather. So this will be kind of more of our, comforter blanket kind of thing. All right. Move down a little bit. All you got to do is dial it up a tiny bit. I'm actually going to put one on this too. It's one of those things where I could explain it, but, just trust me. Okay, I'm going to move this down just a tiny bit. I'm going to right click, shade smooth. Now we got some comfy looking blankets on the bed. Beautiful. Might even just try and bring this top one down a little bit if it will let me without being rude. Okay, that looks about right. Set origin to geometry. Apply scale. Cool. So let's grab these blankets, the mattress, and the bed frame. We can scoot this back now. Cool. All right. So in the break, I just kind of whipped up this pillow. So I'm going to show you how to do that. What we're do is we're going to add a cube. And kind of just bring it here and up. Oh my goodness, having some struggle. Just remember to hit control if you're ever having trouble with the snapping. In fact, I'm going to turn the snapping off for scaling, so it only affects whenever I move it now, which is exactly what I want. I'm going to bring this guy down to like right about there. I'm going to scale him out right about there. And I'm going to apply the scale. And now, like I said earlier with the blanket, we want it to be like very square because we're going to be doing a cloth modifier. So what I do is I actually just cut it down the middle first and then do my edge loops. So let's say 12. So we're just going to do 12 over here and 12 over here. Remember, you can just type them in. No stress. Let's get, whoa, don't want that. Control R, remember, to edge loop cut. Sorry. All right, there we go. I believe it was 12. Losing my mind. Okay, then we're going to do 2 right here. Perfect. Now those are all squares and we're almost ready. So what we're going to do. Okay, so now you have this thing all subdivided, and what we're going to do is we're going to go under modifiers and we're going to add a cloth modifier, which I already have added here. And once you have that added, you're going to go under physics and scroll down till you see pressure. Pump the pressure up to like 12 and then hit play. And ba-bam, that's a pillow. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our modifier and we're going to hit apply. And now it is just stuck like that. We're going to hit right click it and hit shade smooth. And there you go. I might scale it up. Ooh, set the origin to geometry. Apply the scale. And then I'm going to scale it down a little bit like this other one. So bring it back. I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring it down. It's a little bigger than the other one, but that's okay. Can always fix that. Cool. In fact, it could even be a cool idea. Just take one more, move it over here a bit, scale it up, GY. Just kind of change the rotation a little bit. Yeah, I'll do that, but then I'll. Nice. Okay, that looks comfy. They're a little stiff, but it's okay. Oops. Yeah, if you want to resize something after you have rotated it, just change your transform orientation to local, and then it'll let you kind of work it back. Then you want to go back to global if you want to just kind of stay on the same axis. It just kind of changes the way the axis is. Oh, are we still on? No? Just kind of changes the way that the axes function. Just try it out, you'll see. Cool. Okay, those are pillows. One last quick thing I'm going to do in this video. This has kind of been bugging me. So I'm going to try and fix this. And what you can do is you can go to proportional editing up here and click that. And then if you hit G, you'll see this big circle that if you use the scroll wheel, you can kind of affect more than just the area that you're touching. And that can be kind of a good way to bring a bunch of things in. So I'm going to try that with this and see if it's going to play nice with me. It might not. Yeah, let's see. But this way it kind of brings in everything around the vertex. So actually it's working, yeah. Rather than just, the singular vertex that you're trying to move. And that kind of keeps everything edited and proportional. So proportional editing. Let's bring this in. Let's do it. It's working. Yeah, you can just kind of expand the circle if you want just to get a little bit more. But then you can bring it in when you want to be a little bit more precise, like right here. Cool. Oops. Let's bring this in. Gonna bring that down. Yeah, that's gonna look much nicer. So I would just fiddle with it because your blanket's not gonna be the same as mine for sure. Make sure you don't have any weird mesh issues like I'm about to. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Regardless, just take the time and I'm sure it'll be fine. Just take the time and do it, and yeah, it'll look great, and I'll see you in the next one, y'all.